Justin Wolfers.
Molly Jong-Fast.
What's happening with the jobs numbers?
Who knows? Have you seen him?
No.
I've been looking. I looked under my bed, by the bed. Actually, I thought I might have left them under the clothes. I asked Betsy. We haven't seen them anywhere, mate.
Why?
Why? I don't
Yeah.
think I misplaced them. I think it might be because there was a government shutdown for 6 weeks, which we only allowed essential services to continue, and generating the data that will help guide us towards economic nirvana is not seen as essential. So some of the data was simply never collected for the first time in 80 years. And other parts of the data were collected on a slower timeline, and we're going to see them in 2 weeks. And so, Molly, I understand you look like you're on the edge of your seat. You're feeling jittery. You're like, where are my numbers? What's going on with the economy? This is all I can think about. And all I
I
can do
didn't
is say,
sleep last night.
so breathe. We're coming toward the end of this deep, dark data blackout.
So these jobs numbers are because of the government shutdown
They're
or
delayed because of the government shutdown.
government
So
shutdown?
my guess, Molly, is you saw some headlines about weak jobs numbers and you wanted to talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
I did.
let me explain that. Okay, so we have the official government jobs numbers put together by the best statisticians in the world. Fantastic, high quality, not perfect, but the least imperfect we have.
Do we
Best
still
measure.
have those, though, even though Donald Trump fired the head of the Bureau of Labor and Statistics?
We still have lots of very high quality statisticians. We have fewer than we once had. But we have enough that America's economic statistics will continue to be first class as soon as we fund them enough that they can open and publish data. When the government can't do that, everyone starts to look for private sector alternatives.
Mm-hmm.
There's one called the ADP payroll report. ADP, for many of our members of our audience, processes your payroll check each month. And so that means they know a lot about how many people are working. And so they crunch their numbers and come up with another estimate. Now, the problem is the statistical sophistication of the folks there. ADP doesn't print everyone's payroll. And so therefore, it's not clear which parts of the economy they do and don't cover. And so therefore, their numbers are simply less reliable. Now, one number from ADP is not very exciting. But if you have 4 numbers in a row, you could sort of start to feel like 4 noisy numbers. You can average it out and come up with some sense. Again, not a perfect sense. And we've seen 4 very weak numbers in a row. So it is left a lot of people on edge. When we get the real data that we really know and we really trust, we are currently feeling quite pessimistic. It could be that job growth has slowed, it could have stalled, or we could be in reverse.
So we don't know. So we really have nothing. The numbers we saw
No, we have
before.
something. We have good reason, some reason to be quite pessimistic about the last few months.
Right.
There are no certainties in my world, Molly. There's just guesses.
So we have some reason to be pessimistic about the last 3 months. 3 months. Yep. And that reason is because what looks like job loss.
Yes, could be overall job loss. And we also know that the Doge job cuts are finally going to hit the statistics because when they tried to fire them, they got reinstated and then they had to fire them on a slower thing and blah, blah, blah. Nothing got done right the first time, if it was even doing right at all. And so we'll see some of those federal government job cuts start to hit the numbers pretty much straight away.
Give me a sense of how many people were fired because of Doge.
The last number I saw is we're looking at about 150,000 government jobs in October. Now, there may be more to come.
Some, though, were reinstated, right? Like the people who guard the nukes.
Yep.
Right? I mean, there were certain people that were fired that were not supposed to be fired.
Honestly, Molly, it's outrageous. These people call themselves small government folks, yet what they want to do is suck on the government tit and put people out the front of our nukes defending it, as if the free market couldn't just do that for us.
That's right. Just pay me. I'll defend
Do we need a sarcasm font with an Australian accent?
We do. Well, let's just go back to the actual question here, which is, I don't mean to be cranky with you. So we think like
120. Mal, be cranky.
125,000 fired. What percentage of which you think rehired? So everyone gets rehired for the 3 months.
So we think that. So there's actually many more people fired. A bunch were reinstated. The net is about 150,000 for October. That's all I got for you.
Make that make sense in the larger numbers. Like what percentage of job loss is that?
Quite small. So One, it's quite small. And two, the other thing that we want to do when we look at economic statistics is see what the underlying economic force is. Doge is dead.
Right.
So think of this as a one-off to sort of look the other way. So the numbers
Right.
will look bad. They're reflecting a genuine reality that a bunch of public servants lost their job. That reality, of course, is several months old, but
Right.
it will hit the data. But it doesn't, in and of itself, tell us much about the economy's underlying momentum.
So let's talk about the economy's underlying momentum. There's certainly a number of factors. What is the biggest? So, like, Donald Trump is getting blamed for the economy, which is a nonpartisan activity. Blaming the president for the economy always happens. You don't like it. You shouldn't like it, but it's what happens. It's sometimes true that the president has usually less control over the economy than you would think. That said, Donald Trump has done a couple of things when he came in that seemed like they would have huge economic impact that we might be feeling around now. Is that so? Talk us through what those things are and what you think the impact is so far.
Right. So, the president came in, actually did very little apart from Doge for a couple of months. Then he pivoted to tariffs. The big tariff announcement was in April, but then, a week later, he lost the courage of his convictions and had a 90-day pause. At the
Shockingly.
end of the 90-day pause, surprisingly, he had not secured 90 deals in 90 days. And you'll be surprised he then gave himself a 24-day extension and then eventually put in place a set of tariffs that was remarkably like what we had begun with, and then proceeded to cut them in what looks like a somewhat random way as he would hear various complaints or meet with various foreign leaders. But basically, we've had tariffs now in place for about 4 months. We've only seen data actually as far as the first 1 or 2 months of that. So that's one big thing is what's going on with tariffs.
And those
Second,
tariffs are what I just want you to
yep.
answer this because I'm actually interested. What
Did you just say I'm actually interested in economics?
No, I'm interested in this answer. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I'm actually interested in your next question, Mal.
What countries are these tariffs? Because like Trump has said a lot of stuff, but like it's hard for me to know what actually happened.
Right. The answer is all of them,
Okay,
including my
wow,
native Australia, which is a country that buys more stuff from America than the other way round.
not for
There were
long.
no updates on tariffs for the Heard and McDonald Islands, and so the penguins there remain
They're
somewhat
okay.
in flux. They're not
Yeah,
sure whether no news is good news.
yeah.
Tariffs remain remarkably high on China. They went astronomically silly, then they got back to merely absurd. And actually, Canada has very low tariffs, even as the president keeps talking about them, because most trade with Canada falls under the existing free trade agreement. So 90% of the tariffs don't affect our nearest neighbors, even as we bluster that we're coming after them. So look, there's a lot there. And so that actually leads to an important second shock, which is uncertainty. Uncertainty not just about tariffs. I can tell you that I'm sure this is true at the fancy dinner parties you go to, Molly, with titans of industry, that all they do is
This
talk
is
about the
I'm
president
just
now.
sitting here drinking my Diet Coke, and all of a sudden we get titans of industry. All right, go on. Yes.
You don't go to dinner parties?
I don't even eat. I just drink Diet Coke.
That's
Go on.
amazing.
That's
Okay.
amazing.
But titans of industry who are seen in New York, which I do believe is the city you're coming to us from,
Many
they
people are
all sit
saying.
around talking about the president, which is, do I have the right bathroom policy or will the president come after me? What does DEI policy look like or will the president come after me? Am I getting my imports from the right countries or will the president come after me?
Right.
The poor CEO of Intel walked into the White House and walked out with 10% less of his company that somehow slid down the cushions of the Treasury Secretary's couch, never to be seen again.
Then Donald Trump bought $3 million of debt for Intel. He with his personal money.
That's terrific. It's nice that he's
It's
there to
nice that
help
he make
in
money.
so
Well,
many
I
ways.
I don't think he's trying to help. That's my hottest take.
You are so cynical.
So cynical. Okay, so tariffs big will
Uncertainty.
have a big effect.
One,
Uncertainty.
tariffs. Two, uncertainty. Three, an immigration shock.
Let's talk about the immigration shock
It's a
because
really big deal and we don't talk about it enough.
we don't have more people being deported, right? We don't because they're very bad at what they do. Thank God. So the numbers are not actually higher than they were under Obama or Biden, but they have created things like what we saw in Georgia with the South Korean car company plan, in which we had Brian Kemp work really hard to get this Hyundai factory filled with South Koreans who were training American workers. ICE went in there, arrested the South Koreans, put them in a Louisiana detention center, flew them home, and effectively whatever happened there
With lots
happened.
of photographs of executives in chains.
Yeah, they didn't like that.
And what was really important, we didn't see it over here, was that was front page news throughout the region, and it was interpreted directly as anti-Asian
Yeah,
racism,
yeah.
which
For
actually will
weeks
affect
and
a
weeks.
yes, and will affect a different part of the economy, which is what we call foreign direct investment.
Right.
Foreign companies building factories in the United States, which is what the president wanted. They won't do that now in case they're dragged out in handcuffs, which is what those foreign companies don't want. It's sort of outrageous that they don't want to avoid handcuffs.
Yeah, how dare they?
There are certain New York parties, I'm told, where wearing handcuffs is mandatory. And it's just understood that it's part of the invitation. It's
You
how one
have
shows
been to New
grace.
York,
Oh,
you
that's an amazing
lunatic.
place. New
All
York
right.
City.
All right. So the
So that's foreign direct
Georgia
investment,
arrest.
but that's part of it, but that's
Right.
by no means all of it. In fact, it
Right.
might even be the small part.
Oh,
The other is
it's
literally fewer people in America. And you might be right that they're dragging fewer people out through ICE detention centers, but
right.
very few people are coming in and some people are leaving. And so American population growth, which has been, you can open a hot dog stand in any corner of New York or indeed any city, and your sales tend to grow because there are more people. It's an important source of growth for many businesses. There's not going to be more people next year. There's not going to be fewer. It'll be about dead even. That's a very unusual circumstance. That probably hasn't occurred through your lifetime, Molly. And so that's going to mean less growth in demand. It's also going to mean problems in supply. This is the story that farmers can't get their crops picked right now. So when you disrupt what had been a fairly standard, slow population growth, everything's a little bit different. And so that's going to mean many of our economic indicators are not measured on a per person basis. For instance, we talk about how many jobs do we have. We talk about how much GDP we have. If we have not as many people or not as much population growth, those numbers are going to look worse. They're going to look worse even if they aren't worse. That's the first point. But second is anytime you have a stark adjustment like that, actually you create lots of frictions and may potentially create bottlenecks like not being able to pick your crops.
And you have less people paying into Social Security.
I would say you had fewer people paying into Social Security.
Well, you are the writer here. So explain what that means. These are not people who are taking from government, but they are giving because even if you're not a citizen, you still pay taxes.
Right. So, Molly, I'm going to answer your question and then tell you why I don't like it. What you're doing is you're trying to say this discussion about immigration is fundamentally economic. I'm going to have an economist explain the economics of it, and I will happily do so. People who think that immigrants are taking from you and I don't understand the reality is about half of them have fake Social Security numbers. Here I'm talking about
Mhm.
undocumented workers,
Mhm.
which means they do pay into Social Security, but because they're fake numbers, they don't take a penny out. And
Mhm.
there's lots of reports showing that they don't take a penny out. So therefore, in fact, they are subsidizing yours and my, well, not mine, but maybe your parents. That's the economic answer. So, and it's important because there is a view that these people are taking from the government purse. It's false.
Right.
Let me come back and tell you why I object to the question. The issue here is far more fundamental than economics. The issue of immigration, I think, should not be about how does it affect my wallet. We immigrants are people. I would like to be thought
Mhm.
of as a person first. And I have a life, I have a family, I have dreams, I have things I contribute. This country made a promise to me, I made a promise to it. And I think overwhelmingly that's the most important thing at play here. Excuse my moralizing. I
Yeah,
just
I
wanted to
like
say
it.
that. If you want to talk about economic impacts of immigration, let me focus on another couple that are very important. One, this is true of me. It's not true of you, Molly. I am one of America's great exporters. I export millions of dollars and therefore close the trade deficit that the president claims to so much about. How do I do that? I'm a university professor and I educate students from all around the world. And when they
Right.
fly around the world and spend $40,000 a year in Ann Arbor, Michigan,
Right.
they create high quality jobs. They receive an American education and forever will be transformed in a way that transmits American soft power. The president is making it hard for those kids to get across the border. So I am, and the University of Michigan is, a great American exporter that wants to engage with the rest of the world and help solve our trade deficit. And the president will not let us do it. Here he's not putting, it's not the equivalent of putting tariffs on imports. It's the equivalent of putting tariffs on exports. This is crazy. And these are wonderful jobs. The people who work at the university have high quality jobs. They enjoy their life. They work at a desk. They don't have a sore back, but we aren't allowed to do it anymore. So that's a very important thing. Another very important thing, the H-1B visa program is bringing in educated people in areas where the United States has shortages. Those educated people are working in the most innovative parts of the United States. They have a huge impact on new technologies and therefore productivity, innovation, and the future of the United States. Try doing the world's best cutting edge science without talent from around the world. You can't do it. The secret to America's technological innovation supremacy has been we have been the home of science from all around the world. We have been the place scientists wanted to come. Now we're not letting them across the border.
Right.
Do you want to hear about another shock?
Yes.
All right. So tariffs was one. And then we had immigration. That was another. Uncertainty was another.
Yeah.
I want to tell you one more that is not the usual language of economics. In fact, I've never used this. I think there's a competence shock. Normally, when economists talk about the economy, we think everyone's making pretty smart decisions and the left-wing guys are doing stuff the right-wing guys don't like, and the right-wing guys are doing stuff the left-wing guys don't like, but at least they're doing it moderately well.
Right.
These guys aren't doing it well. And so the sense that the world's largest economy is being driven by a set of policymakers who don't know what they're doing is enough to cause people to pull back on investment. And I fear that's part of what's going on right now. And this is an administration that took 10 months to understand that America doesn't grow bananas, and therefore 10 months to understand that tariffs on bananas would not lead to banana factory jobs in the United States.
Right.
They finally backed off. But it's not just that, right? This is firing the head of the BLS. This is undermining the Federal Reserve. This is undermining the rule of law, and on and on and on and on and on it goes. These guys create chaos everywhere they go. This isn't just about uncertainty. This is actually about implementing bad policies. Bad policies are bad for the future of America. The weaker the future of America, the less likely I am to invest in it. And I think that's a real part of the story.
Yeah. No, but all of this is going to be solved when Donald Trump makes Kevin Hassett the director of the Fed. Just kidding.
You're not kidding now, are you?
I am kidding.
Oh, you're kidding, okay. Hey, if you want to talk about a competent shock, if you want to talk about the least distinguished economist ever to hold that role, if you want to
Kevin
talk about
Hassett.
a naked partisan who refuses to face reality, it's unimaginable. The previous
2026, baby. It's coming up.
I want you to compare this to Bush appointed Ben Bernanke, who subsequently won the Nobel Prize in economics.
Kevin's going to have a Fox show. Justin Wolfers, will you come back?
Only for you, Molly. Always for you, Molly. And your audience, who I love.